Okay, so we'll go here and okay, let me pull. Okay. So let's do more. Okay.
Sir, mine is if I go to register page also, whatever I'll go, it is rerouting to the login page only, sir.
So
It is rerouted.
Yeah, so if you're going to home page, it is rerouting to login page, right?
No, not that. If I go to some other user profile also, it is rerouting to me to register file only.
Okay, have you logged in?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what you do for now before till we go further, here in the layout, just come in this part. Okay.
Okay.
It will not reroute.
Because practically I can't try anything because register page is not coming only for me. Register is coming, so practical output I am not able to.
Okay, let me check your directory 1 second. You have committed all the files, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check. Okay, I'm just checking the user profile is correct. It's going correct. Okay, let's check it. So you have completed login part also. Okay. So this login is not done properly because you have created the login function and you have passed email and password. And
to see the output, I'm not able to see in the output when it is rerouting to somewhere else.
okay, that we'll see, but this one is not right. So when you took the email, you are passing email and password, as a parameter, and here you are passing object. Here you are passing object. Either change this to non-object, or here take object like this. So you have to put it like object here.
Okay.
And then you have to take this. This will not be in the single quote. This is a variable, so it will be directly. You have to put it, and then this login page will work. Okay, let's take this one. Okay, so let's try to go to login page. Okay. So now I try to log in. I'm able to do it. So, so what is the problem? You are not able to log in, or what?
So if you go to user profile page, if I try to enter anything.
Okay, so it's coming here. User profile. You try again now by changing the statement which I said.
Okay.
We cannot ask everything.
Try now.
Okay.
So first do the changes here on the login page and try it. Okay, I'll come back to you in one few minutes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Let me undo everything. Okay, so you try it, but we'll talk in few minutes. Okay. So yesterday I was doing the to-do app. Let's finish that app, and because that is the basics of all the apps which we will do. That is the easiest one, and once you understand that easiest one, you will be able to do more difficult stuff also. Okay, so in the to-do app, I created one component for the add, one component for the list part, one component for the display counter, and one for the pagination. We already have the pagination. We will use that, but I am writing it here again. And in the home component, that is the main component, we created the state variable, we created the onChange variable function, we created the handle submit function, and we call different components here like add component, list component, display component, pagination component. Add component needs the variable to do, which will be the user has inserted or changed in the text box. That is the to do variable. And add also need the handle change. Whenever user try to change the input box, we need the handle change. And we need the handle submit when user will try to submit it. So when user will try to submit it, I submit the data to the to-do app. This is the table, to-do table. And that's it. We are submitting there. Now next step is to list it. We want to show the all the items. Okay, so let's put that in the list one. But we will create the function here which will get the data. So let me create a function here. So I will say constant get results. So this is the results function which will get the data from the parse server and display it here. Update the state variable here. Okay, so get results. We will go to the documentation and see how to get the results. Okay, let's check that one. So we need to find the query. We need to create the query, and based on the query, we will get the data. So let's do the query here. So first statement will be constant query is equal to new parse query. We have to say new parse dot query, and here I have to give the table name. So what table name I have to give? This table. So I created the query which is mentioned here. No need to create this line and this line. Okay, it's working. Okay, now we just need to create this line with the table name in the double quote or single quote. Then we have to find the equal to. Since I want all the records which is tied to me, that is the user who is logged in, so we need to mention that query dot equal to. I will check the user field with the current user, and current user is nothing but this one, parse dot user dot current. So this query will check only the current user. I can also do console.log of query to see what query is coming, so that I will make sure that it is correct. And after we do the query, we need to call this find statement. Either I can use the then statement by saying query.find .then .catch, or I can also make this function asynchronous, async, and then we don't need to put .then and .catch. We will just say constant results is equal to await. So whenever something promised we have to call, we have to use await in front of it. Either you say await query.find is equal to results, or if you want to do in the old style, then you can say query.find .then, and here it will be arrow function where results will come here, and we can do console.log here. So either do this way or do this way. So let's do async await way now. So I have to before the function I have to say async, and then await I have to say before the query.find. And here I will see what is the results coming here. Okay, so let's see results coming here. So I'll go to here and we'll see what is coming. Okay, so since this Shweta's directory is open, I need to go to my directory and do it there. Or I'm doing where? Yeah, I'm doing in my folder. Okay, I need to call this get results also. And we need to call. So when the page will load, I have to call at that time. So I'll say react.useEffect. And there I have to let's move this at the top of this one. And I will call the get results inside it. So in the use effect, I will put empty array here. And I will call the get results function here. Okay. It's starting. I'm waiting for it to start and then we'll see. So what I'm doing it, I created this function and in the use effect, I'm calling this function. Okay, so we have to call this function. Props is not defined. Auth login. Okay, source common auth login. Props is not defined. Let me see what is the problem with that one. This props is not defined. So I need to put props here. Okay, Sonu Singh, why you have edited in my folder? See it's saying Sonu Singh committed it. You have to work only in your folder. So everyone, remember, you cannot work in my folder. Sonu Singh, are you there? Yeah, so you have to make sure that you don't touch my folder. You have to work only in your folder, okay? Next time, make sure you do only in your folder because login part I have not done it. And this is RSCE. So make sure next time you only work in your folder, okay? So let's try it now. Okay, about forgot password. Okay, forgot password. No one has worked. So make sure you copy the login into your folder, otherwise it will be overwritten and I delete it. Okay, so because my folder will be deleted after this class, so make sure you keep that safe in your folder. Okay, so this is my to do app and we will see the get results is coming here right now. Yesterday we inserted one, so we get one record, something like that. I can add more records. Now if I refresh it, I will get 2 records now. Okay, so we are getting 2 records. Okay, so we are getting the results properly. I am not doing counting yet for pagination. I'm just displaying the get results part. And this will run only one time. Why it will run one time? Because of this check that we are not passing anything here. It will run only on the page load. Also, many times, whenever the page will load, this will create new copy every time. So function, whenever the props is changed, this function will create a new copy every time. So to avoid the new copy, we need to append it with the callback. So we will say react.use callback, and I will put whole function inside it, comma, and I have to put empty array here. So use callback, we have to just say use callback, and then we will put our function, whatever was there, and then just we have to say comma, empty array, close it. Now what use callback will do, it will create only one copy of this function, and it will not be overhead. It will not create multiple times. So whenever the page will load, it will check if this function is there. It will not re-render complete function again. It will take from cache. So we need to put the use callback in whatever function we use it. Okay, so that way it will be only one copy of that function, and it will not be multiple copies. Now the thing is that, okay, right now don't do it in change and submit. We'll do only this get results for now. Okay, later on we will see how to do in this also. And now let's check again if it's working. So we call the query, and in the query you will see that there is a where clause, and it is checking user should be the current user. You can see everything inside the query, but the important is this part. And next is the results. We are getting two results here as previously. Now, okay, now what we have to do is, okay, so we are getting these results. Now we have to save this in results in bot to display. We have to save the results in where we have to save these results so that I can show it on the HTML part. Anyone? How will I show these results on the page? State. Kate has remembered it thoroughly. Always whenever we do any change in the function, if we want to display, we need to create the state variable. So let's create the state variable. I will name that state variable as maybe state only, and state. And equal to, I will say react dot use state, and here I will say null initially. It is null, and when we get the results, we will update it. Since we have to do pagination also in future, so it is better to make things now only. So instead of null, I will put object, and object will have the results of an empty array right now, because initially there are no results, and the count of 0. And when we get the data, everything, we will update this results and the count both. Now in this one, if I want to see the count and results separately, what change I should do in this query? Can anyone tell me? Right now it is coming array of all the records. Now I want to see the count, how many records are there and how many results are there in array. What should I change in the query so that I can see these both the things? Can anyone tell me what should I change in the query? Right now, if I see the results, it is coming as array. I will show you again. So let's refresh it. So right now, we are getting the result. If we want to see the count also, unable to recollect. Okay, anyone who can recollect? So I have to just say query dot with count. So once I say with count, it will do the counting also. Now when I see the results, instead of results, let's change this to maybe response. Okay, so response is a better term. So now with the count, it will give me results as a separate thing and the count as a separate thing. So let's check it here. Okay, so I'm getting count and results separately. So we will save this response, whatever we get this response, in the state variable state. So what I will say, I will here I will say set state, and here I will put the function where I will get the previous value as st, and I have to return st object, and then I have to just put the response. So I'll just say dot 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 response, because this response is also object. So it is okay to put response if okay. So another way is we can manually say results equal to response dot results, and count is equal to response dot count. We can say like this also, but since this is the object, we can directly say in one word, and that is this one. So what it will get, whatever response we get, it will show, it will update in the state. Let's do console.log of state also to see what values are coming. So initially state is coming null, array, and 0 count, and once we get the response, state is updated with the count 2 and the result. And when we change this one, only state is updated. This console.log is coming. We are not getting this response of the console.log. Now remember, we are calling the React use effect, and it is saying that there is a missing dependency of the get results. So we need to just pass that get results here. After we put get results, we need to make sure that are we calling this use effect again and again or no. Whenever the props is changed, are we going inside again and again? If we are going again and again, then it's the bad thing, and we should avoid that one. So I will just make sure that use effect should be called only one time. See, I'm calling use again one time. Now I will try to change the props and see whether use again is called multiple times or not. I am changing it, but use again is not called. That means this inside part is called only once on the page load. So we are good to go. So we will delete this part. Now we got response, we update in the state. Okay, so this part is done. Now we have to show the results on the page. So results is inside this state variable. So let's pass this state variable in our list component. And inside the list component, we will get the state variable, where I will show the state variable here. So what I have to do, I will say h3 list of items to do. Okay, and here right now I will not put any great UI. I'll just put UL and LI tag to see the results. So right now I will check if we get state.count is greater than 0, then only we will show the UL. So if the count is 0, then we don't want to show the results. Even we have to move this up. I can put it here. If state.count is equal to 0, I don't even want to go below. So I can say return null. No need to check here. So we are checking here. Though I can check here also, but since I don't want to show anything if we don't get any results, so I put it here. Now here inside this I will take the li tag, and we have to loop through the results for the li tag. So what I will do is state.results.map, and inside map we have to put arrow function, and inside arrow function we have to return it. And here will be rec. I just use rec. And since this is the map, we have to put some key, otherwise it will give the warning. And the best key is put rec.id. So that ID will be unique. And here what I have to say, I have to put the to do one, this to do one. How can I get to do one here? What should I say? Can anyone tell me what should I put here to display the to do? Okay, rec to do will not work. I already explained you yesterday. You forgot. It's called rec.get to do. This is how we use. Yeah, get is the one. Whenever we use parse error, we use this way. Okay, now we will see on the screen. So we are getting this list item to do. Now if I try to add new item, there are multiple problems here. If I click add to do, this list is not getting updated. Also, this is not getting emptied. So let's do that one. So to get the list updated, whenever we submit it, we will call this get results again. Okay, so when we do the save part, like this save part, and it is successful, then we will call the get results again. I don't need this data for now. So whenever I post it, submit it, I get the success response, I will call the get results. That means I will call the query again, get the data again for this user. So that way, whenever I enter it in this, whenever I add it in the text box, I will post it. After post it, I will get results again, so that I should get a fresh result. Let's do one more thing in the query. I want to do query dot descending based on created date, so that newly created items should be at the top. This is a created at. Let's confirm the field name. Is it created at or created on? So created at, no underscore. At like this, right? Also, once we get the results, we also need to empty this one. We need to empty this one. So how will I empty that one? What should I do? Can anyone tell me? That value is stored in this to do. How can I empty that one? Set state equal to null. Okay, so set state is correct word. It's not state, because we are not emptying the state. We have to empty this to do. And it should be empty. Don't put null. Put it this empty string. So I have to say set to do equal to empty string. Okay, we are not doing set state, we are doing set to do. Let me refresh it. Item 1, I click enter, so it is going here. Item 2, this is here, item 2. So it's automatically updated because after we add the item, we call the result again. Now, when I type something and I want to press enter and it should go, right now it's not happening. It is only happening when I click add to do button. So let's fix that one. So this is my form. This is my form. If I wrap this form with the form tag of HTML, then whenever I will press enter, it will submit the form. And instead of calling on-click handle submit in the button, I need to call in the form, I need to call on submit equal to handle submit. Next thing, I will delete on submit here, and here I will say button type equal to submit. That means this button type is submit. So these changes you need to do. Now when you click enter, it will submit it. Now it's saying no corresponding closing tag, though I put the closing tag here. I have button here. Why is complaining this one? I have div tag. What about I put this here and I delete the div tag? Okay, now that is gone. Okay, so I just did some HTML change. I deleted the div tag and I put the styling here. So instead of div tag, I directly use a form. Okay, now it's working. Now let me refresh it again. Now I will put something and I will press enter button. I will not click the button. I will press something. Item 5. I click at enter. Okay, so it is refreshing the page. Okay, that is wrong. So how to avoid that refreshing? Can anyone tell me? This handle submit is called. I need to avoid the refresh. Whenever now what I'm happening, whenever I type something, I click add to do and it is refreshing. Okay, so prevent default. Ashok is right. So we need to, in the handle submit button, handle submit function, we need to pass event as E, and here I have to say E dot prevent default. So that way the normal function of form will not work and we will be able to submit the form without refreshing the page. So let's put something enter. So it's going on enter only. I don't have to click this to do button. Now if I don't put anything and I click add to do, I don't want it to be submitted. So in the handle submit, I will also check if not to do. That means to do variable is empty. Then here I will set some error. So we need error also. So I will create one more state variable called as error, and it is called with set error. And initially I will make this null. Why I am making this as empty and here null? Can anyone tell me? Null means no data, empty is also no data. Why here I have to put empty string, here null? So the reason is this to do is tied to the input box. So input box will not accept the null value. For input box, we need the empty string. But error, we are not tied to any HTML element. It's a variable. It will update some value and it will go away. So null is fine. I can put empty string also, but null is also fine. Here I cannot put null. If I put null, I will get warnings and error and different things. Now what will happen if I don't put to do and try to submit it? I want to set the error. Here I'll set the error that to do field is required. There is a library also for the validation purpose which we will use some other time, but right now we are not using it in this application. And I will return it. That means I don't want to go below it. Once error is there, error will be set and we will not go inside to post it. Now since error is there, we need to display that error on the page. And if you see, we have something to display error on the page, that is the alert. This is something we have to display it. So let's copy this line. And above button, we have to show it. So where is the button? Here is the button. So I will say if error is present, then show this alert box with a message of error. So if error is there, then only show this alert box. Now since it needs the error, we need to pass this error here because that error was created in another component. We have to pass it here. Also we need to import the alert statement. Okay, now add is needed the error. Add component needs the error variable, so we need to pass the error in the add component. So here is the add component, we need to pass the error. So error will be passed from this component to the add component, and if some error is there, we will display that error above the button. Let's test this condition. Now what I will do, I will not fill anything here and I'll try to press enter. So once I press enter, I see this error is coming. If I put something and press enter, it will go. But when it goes, error is not going away. So we need to take care of that also. When I type something, once the error is there, it is there only, it's not going away. So we should remove that error once user successfully does it or when it tries again. So when user will try to do handle submit, one second. Okay, so what happens if to do is not there? We set the error. But what if to do is there? Initially, whenever you call the handle submit, you know we only stated this part. But if the everything is okay, then we are not resetting the error to null. So what we will do? We will always in the handle submit. I can do here also. When everything is right, I will make set error equal to null again. So if everything is right, then error should go to null and user should not see it again. So again, let's test the condition. So if I refresh the page, I will not put anything. I will press enter. I get the error. Now if I put something proper and I press enter, this error will go away because I set the error equal to null. Let's try to put the error, this set error inside this catch block also. So maybe here I can say error dot message, whatever error will come. Okay, like this. So if anything error comes here in this post one, then we get this error. Okay, we show this error here. So I have to do a lot of changes to really create the error here. Maybe I will try to create this error like this. Okay, we will do that later some other time. Think about that. If some error comes, we will set the error here. Okay, so let's see now. I can enter n number of records. This display part, we will be working on this display part a lot in few days. Okay, right now this application is nothing. It's not a real application. This is for learning purpose, so we will not do anything for this display purpose. But soon, when we'll go for some application which is to be released for production, we will do the display of it. So, for example, we can use kind of like this display or like this display. Like this, we will put some list items and we will show. This is the user who posted it. What is the title? What is the subtitle? Something like that. We will put it like this. So we have one of the display example here like this. Okay, so we have to now take care of counter and pagination. Okay, so I will ask you to now, maybe you can copy, because it's a big change. You can do it later. You can get my file and try to put it and test it. But if you practice it, try to do line by line. Okay, line by line. Just copy it line by line. Don't try to copy whole file and put it in your one so it's working. You don't have to make it working. You have to go one line by line and see what is happening. Why we are putting this one, why we are putting this one. You have to understand each thing. Okay, so let's now go with the display counter. Okay, so this display counter will display total number of records. Total records are, I will pass the count here and I will display the count, and count will come here in this as a props. Okay, so whenever we have the display counter, we need to pass the count. Count is nothing but the state.count. This one. So I'll say count equal to state.count. Okay, so now, so it's saying total records are 25. If I add more, it becomes 26. If I more, it becomes 27. Okay, next thing is the pagination, which we have to do. So for pagination, we need to create two variables and we need to use that two variables here. So for example, let's say maximum number, let's say I can say constant max items per page. This I will not ask user to change it, but okay, let's use it the same way what we did previously. So in our to-do app previously, what we did, we created two variables. One was the page and one was the max, and we will try to do same thing here. Okay, so let's create the two variables here. So I will say constant page set page equal to react.useState and then second will be constant max and set max equal to react.useState, and per page, let's say I want to show 5 only, so I will put 5 the maximum. Okay, so now we have to call this page and max inside the get result because we have to apply it to the query. Here I'll put something querying the data. Okay, so I have to use the page here inside this my get results. So let's put this page and max inside the get results. So here I will say query dot skip, and skip will say page into max. And why we are saying page into max, we already discussed few days back. So whatever page is there, we have to multiply with the max to get the skip number, that is the starting number of the record. And how we achieve this, we did it a few days back. You can go back in the video and see it. Next is query.limit. Limit is how many items you want. It is the max one, this max. Now since we are using this two variable page and max, and we want to use in the get results, so we need to put them here as a dependencies here. So whenever the page will change, it will call this function again, or whenever the max will change, it will call this function again. So we need to put this dependency inside this rectangular box. Now what will happen whenever the page is changed, we will call the query results, or whenever the max is changed, we will call this get results again. Okay, so let's see if it is everything working right or no. We're querying the data. We got the 5 record only per page. Total is 28. Now if we change the page somehow, then it will query the data again. Okay. We have to just do one more check. If I try to edit this, it should not call the query the data. Okay, it's not querying the data again when I'm changing the text field. It should call the querying the data once on the page load and whenever there is a page change or the maximum change. And if I do add to do, once I click add to do, we call forcefully query the data, and we are getting the record again back. So this is working fine. We need to now call the pagination only. Okay, let's call the pagination now. So few days back, I created the pagination one, if you remember. So let's create that pagination again. Since this pagination will be used in many of our applications, so let's put it inside the common. Inside the common, I will create a new file called as pagination.jsx. And here I used the table pagination before. Let's use the same thing. Let's go to pagination. So this is the table pagination which I used. I have to import this table pagination. So all these parameters, variables, we need to put it. So this component div is fine. This count will come from our this count, this part, this count. So this count will come dynamically. So we need to pass that as a props. So one thing, we'll get the count. Which page we are, we need to get it dynamically. So page will be, we need to pass. Next will be how many rows per page. See, this rows per page is nothing but the maximum number of max variable which we created here. This is the max. So I need to pass the max here. Next is what will happen when you change the page here. So we need to call this set page. So we need to pass set page also. And what will happen when rows are changed? So when rows are changed, we need to pass the max. So here I have to write my custom function, arrow function, and if you go to documentation, we will get two things here. One is we get event and we will get a new page. So I put new page here. And this set page is called with the new page. So whenever user will change the page, it will be in this variable new page, and we have to call this set page with the new page. Okay, so we just update this with the new page. And also rows per page change, we will pass the arrow function, and we'll get event, and inside event we'll call the set max, and we have to say event.target.value. But this target.value will be in the string format, so we need to convert it into integer. So we need to wrap it on with a parse int. And then we have to put in the end. So set max is set to the whatever user will choose as a parameter. And once the max row is changed, that is maximum records per page is changed, we need to call the set page with the 0. That means we need to reset the page to 0. Okay, so Rakesh, I'm not sure where you're talking rest, where you want to pass the rest instead of passing all. Okay, one more thing we need to add till he gives answer. Rows per page options. So here I will give the options what user can choose per page. So I can say in the array, I can say user can choose 5 per page, or 10 per page, or 25 per page, or 50 per page, or 100 per page. So these are the options user will see, so that he can choose 5 per page, 10 per page, 25 per page. This count will be passed here. So whatever user count, whatever the count is here, it will be passed here. So let's call this pagination here. So inside my pagination, so this is the also function name is pagination, and this is also the pagination. So let's change this to some other name. Display pagination. Okay, so we'll name it display pagination. And inside the display pagination, or we can avoid this function, we can directly call our this pagination component directly. So let's call this pagination component directly. So what things it needs, let's import that also here. So what props this pagination needs, I will copy it here. And we will pass the value. What is the count? Count is state.count. What is the page? Page is directly page equal. What is max? Max is directly equal to max. Set page is directly equal to set page. And set max is directly equal to set max. Let's wait till this red line goes away. If this red line is coming, that means something is not right, and it will go away in a minute or in half minute, few seconds. Not going, something is problem. Okay, let's give some time, it may go away. Let's check the page. So I'm able to see the pagination. Now see what will happen. If I go to next page, the page will change, and you will see the querying the result will come again. See, the page get changed, and we got the query the data again, and we get the new set of data from 6 to 10. Now we get the new set of data. We get new sets of data, new sets of data. I can change it to 10. Then I start the page from the 0 again. and we get the new set of data. Okay, so this complete the pagination. Okay, let's delete all the console statements, and then we are good to go. Okay, let's search. Don't need this console. We don't need the state. Okay, so we just removed all the console so that I should not see any console. I can add more data or whatever I want, and I can go through the pagination also. So this completed to do application. So now question, Rakesh, what do you mean by REST instead of passing all? Where you want to do that? While passing in function like pagination. So you're talking about here dot rest, or you're talking about here? Here, you mean here? Yeah, you can do that, but that is not advisable, because if you pass like this way, you know what parameters you need to pass, and you can pass that way. But you can pass like here, you can pass as props, and you can take props.page, props.count, whatever you want. But that is not advisable. It is advisable to put everything here like this. That way you know what attributes you are expecting in this page. Okay, so this is the ideal way you can use. You can do multiple ways. You can pass as a REST parameter, you can pass as a props, but this is the way. Whatever we required, we need to pass it like this one. This is the this is the way I like it. You can do pass a variable and do it whatever you want, but here I like to put it like this way. Okay, so this one, this variable, state variable, is tied to input box. So whenever you tie something to input box, you cannot make that null. If you put null for input box, then see what will happen. We get this warning, okay, that input should not be null. So whenever we tie something to the input box, we need to make it empty string. Whether error is tied to any input box? No. We are setting the error manually using the set error. It is not tied to any input box. So for the error, you can put null or you can put empty string also. It's fine. Both are okay. But for everything which you do for the text box or anything tied to form element, it should be empty string, not the null. Got it? Yes, empty string while using the form. Otherwise, you can use the null. Okay, Ashok is not able to commit it. So what steps you are following? Okay, are you following all the steps? Okay, let me show you how to commit it again. Follow all the steps as I'm showing you. First, you need to put git add dot. Then you to do git commit -am, put some message, blah blah blah, anything whatever you want to do it. After that, you have to do git pull first. Don't push without pull. You have to pull it first. Let me see pull. Now you have to do git push. Okay, what error you are getting, Ashok?
Sir, I'm getting some authentication here, sir.
Okay, so authentication error, that means did you change any Git with different username? Did you log in with different username or what? Since yesterday you were able to commit it, right? I am able
No,
to
sir.
see.
You just added me by new email ID, right, sir? So I could not able to commit. Actually, I'm getting some
You are
rejection.
using same email which you gave me yesterday?
Yes, sir. Yes, yeah.
Okay, let me see your screen. Okay, 1 second. Now this project is the basics of all other work which we will do in few days. Okay, so you have to remember this project thoroughly. Tomorrow I will give you assignment. That means in the class you have to do something which is based on this project. For example, I will give you that let's build the notes which I told you on that day, right? Notes. This is the notes. I want to build that notes. You know, many times I have many things like I have username and password, or I have some bank account, or I have something which I want to save in my notes. You know, I generally use this notepad, but notepad is something in my local, in my computer. Tomorrow I want to go to another page. I want to access from a mobile. I want to access from anything. So I want to make website where I can keep all my notes at the safe place. Okay, right now we will not put any encryption. We will just put whatever user has put, but later on we can put encryption also, so that only user can see, no one else can see. So we will build this My Notes application tomorrow, and you have to do everything, and it will be similar to this one. Okay, it will be similar to this function. So you should go through this project again and again, do it 2 times, 10 times, 15 times. Tomorrow you have to do everything without referring any code. You have to remember everything. Even you have to remember the pagination, what you have to do in the pagination. Only thing, you can go in the material your website and grab this pagination part. But rest all parts you have to remember. You have to remember how to update this count page, or how to put this one. So you have to share the screen and you have to tell me how you will do the pagination, right? So everything you have to do without looking at this application. So you have to go and by heart it. You understand the meaning of by heart. You have to remember it. Okay, go and see how add is created. So how add function is created like this. How list is created. Just remember it. If you don't remember it, do it 10 times, 15 times. How display count is displayed. How the home component is displayed. What are the state variables we have to create it. So everything you have to do without referring this project. You have to do yourself. You have to by heart the things. You have to remember the things. Got it? What I'm saying? Are you getting me? So what you have to do 10 times this project. Write down 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. But remember this project, because this is the basics of all the projects. I will not ask you to remember any other project in the future. Only this project you have to remember, because everything will be dependent on this project. And if you want, you can watch this video again and again, so that you understand how I build this project. This project has to be remembered thoroughly, mastered it thoroughly. There will be no other project I will ask you to remember. Only this one. That's the only project. And after you remember this one, I have a long list of the projects which we will do in few days. So from December 1st, I have started doing the React, and for 2-3 months we will do a lot of projects in the React. So I have created this list of all the projects which we will be doing in soon. And if you remember this, then only you will be able to do this. Otherwise, I don't want to take headache to explain you again and again. Right? Once you remember this one, whatever I will ask you, you can do this in the future. The next job will be very easy when we start another project, because you know everything. And I will ask you why you have created this with an empty one, why you have created this with null, why you have created with this object like this, why not array, why not null. So you should be prepared for that. And if you don't know, you can ask me tomorrow before I start the class, because I will give you directly the assignment. And if you don't understand any of this part, you have to ask me before the class tomorrow. Is that clear?